Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I was trying to go live and the lighting was just awful. Like, I think I look better in this one, but I looked completely orange and I couldn't fix the lighting. I don't know what was going on, but I decided I'm gonna cancel the live since there was like one person watching at the time. I just had started it, and we are gonna just post this like a live but not a live. So sorry if you were watching, but I had already started with my brows. I'm just using this NYX Tame and Frame in brunette. So I am trying new makeup and seeing what works and what doesn't. Right now, I had mentioned that I prepped my skin with the Urban Decay Complexion Primer, as well as the Clinique Moisture Surge and the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Primer. So I have all three of those on my skin because I have pretty dry skin and I hate it. So I have to make sure that I moisturize just to make sure that when you put foundation on, it doesn't stick to dry patches or anything like that. Because I will be using this IT Cosmetics CC cream and this sticks to my dry patches so bad. So I will be mixing it with the Pretty Fresh foundation or tinted moisturizer in medium 12W. So like I said, I'm doing my brows with this. I actually really like the color and it doesn't look like super unnatural. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to do the inner corners with my powder because it's just a little easier to control. This is the medium powder by Sigma, not in, but by Sigma. And I'm going to be using the same old brush that I use for everything, which is the e.l.f. 203 brush. And it's just a double-ended. This was also an e.l.f. angled brush that I used for the pomade. So I'm gonna go in with the lighter shade right there for the inner part of the brows. They're just really finicky towards the front. I don't really have like a squared shape nor a round, like it's an in-between shape. So it's really hard for me to do it with like a pomade. And I feel like with a powder I have just a little bit more control. And it's a little bit easier. So I don't try to go for like a super squared shape, but I also don't like to go for a really round kind of shape towards the inner. Just kind of fill in the sparse areas, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the dark shade from this little powder duo just to blend everything together so it doesn't look like super light in the front. And so I'll always go in with the lighter one just to make sure that I get the shape that I want, and then I'll go in with the darker powder just to fill in everything else so it doesn't look uneven. But that's pretty much it. They actually look not too awful right now. And yeah, what's been up with everybody? I know this whole, like, certain states are opening back up, everything's kind of weird, the whole world is kind of falling apart. So how have you all been holding up with everything? You guys out and about or still kind of waiting for everything to fully open up? I've just been laying pretty low. I don't really go anywhere. I'm just gone because I was actually living in my house for about 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks because I was in the process of like a small remodel, and part of that included like sanding our floors and kind of doing that, so I couldn't live in my house, which kind of sucked. So that's why there was no videos for a while. I wasn't actually home to film videos. Everything's still in chaos. My bed's on the floor because my bed frame is still waiting to come. Alright, I don't know what I want to do next. I think I'm just going to start with my eyes. Yeah, I don't think I want to do my face first. So I'm going to use the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. You guys know I love this stuff. We're gonna dip into the California Love palette. I've only used this like 2 times, so I want to get more use out of this. I've mentioned that I want to start using, I think I mentioned that I want to start using more of the stuff that I have. I'm gonna go into Sequoia, I think it is. It's the yellow orange shade. So I'm just gonna go into that. I put Gnarly all over right now with a big brush, and now I'm using a blending brush just to use that Sequoia color, and I'm going to blend that out. I know this is still available in Ulta, so if you guys were looking into it, it's a really good palette for like the summer. I think you can get a really good look out of it. And it has a matte cream. It's got like that burnt orange. This one's really pretty. It does have a little bit of glitter, which is why I don't think I think I used it once maybe, but I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, so that's why I am dipping into a yellow that I probably would never before. But I really like how these looks come out with like burnt yellow colors. So we're gonna try it on ours today. That was really ugly, sorry. I'm gonna go in with a smaller blending brush. This is the E35 from Sigma, and I think I'm actually going to use this one right here. This is the Mulan right here, and I'm going to go into Strength and a little bit of Honor. So I am going to put that there. My mirror is blinking that it's going to die, so I have to charge that really quick. By the way, I got this mirror from Costco. It's a double-sided mirror and it's lighted for like 40 bucks, and it's USB, so you can like charge it and then use it in different rooms. I usually always get ready in my room, but sometimes I do have to like go in the living room and get ready with the kids. Like, I have to watch the kids. Right now the baby's sleeping, so that's why I'm able to get ready here. But it's really good and really good quality, and I've been really liking it, and like it's touch too, so it's really good. I love it. I've only had it for a couple of days, but so far so good. I don't know the brand because it's not on here, but it's really good. Like I said, I'm using the Mulan Strength palette and just kind of using what I have. My room is kind of a disaster right now because we just moved back in like a week ago, and everything's still not put back. My palettes are kind of all over the place right now. I have to rearrange them how they were. So these are kind of the ones that I have on hand. So we're gonna use them. We use what we have, right? And all of these are still available. I'm pretty sure this one just restocked on ColourPop. But I know the California Love is still available, and so is the Back Talk palette that I will also be using a little bit of. So this shade is not as pigmented, but it is really buildable, and I am able to build it up. So now we're getting kind of like that sunset eyes look. I'm gonna go into Guiding Spirit, which is the darker, a little bit darker shade right down here, just to get a little bit more definition on the outer corner and darken it up. Alright, I'm gonna dip into that like orangey yellow again, just because I feel like I lost some of it and I don't want that to get lost. I still want that to come out and look pretty. So this is gonna be more of a neutral eye. I don't want it to be too crazy, but I still want it to look, you know, like a pop of something. My allergies have been so crazy. I'm over it. I can't deal with the allergies anymore. I think I'm gonna dip into this West or Dream Maker. I don't know where I got West. This is from the Sweet Talk palette. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of that to blend everything together. It's just a middle of the road shade, and that's gonna go in between that dark color that I just used and the yellow orange. So back into Sequoia just to bring that yellow back out. Sometimes that's just what you have to do between the same like 4 colors, just kind of go back and forth till you get the desired look. It doesn't always have to be about using a ton of colors, just to make sure that you are using the colors correctly and making the most out of them. So you do have to go back and forth sometimes to get what you want. But that looks really pretty. It looks kind of like a little bit of that sunset eye that's going around right now. Now the glitter, I don't know what I want to do because all of these palettes have really nice glitters. So I think I'm just gonna do Warrior. Warrior looks pretty good. It's either, I don't know, because if I want to stick with the sunset eye, I have to do like a red, something like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the red. Screw it. We're going all for it. I don't really like red on the eyelid just because it can make you look a little sickly, but we're gonna go for it. Just why not, right? And then we'll do like a inner corner pop or something. I don't know. Then that'll look nice. So this is gonna go all over the lid, just like that. You guys can see, but that is what it looks like so far. And do that on both sides. Alright, I'm just having all kinds of technical difficulties, so I am sorry for that. Because that's what happens when you don't do any filming or any thing like that. And these are not my typical videos, as you guys know. So I am just having all kinds of issues. So I am kind of eyeing this glitter shade right there. I think I want to do it. It's gonna be a mess, and I have to use glitter glue because ColourPop states that they're not eye safe. So I don't want to go blind because I'm already blind. And I'm going to use a small little detail brush, something like this. I'm going to use this little e.l.f. guy with the NYX glitter glue. So I'm going to put that right in the middle, right in the center. And I'm going to put that glitter right on top of the red that we just put down. So back to my brush, and we're just gonna try to pick some of that up and just press it on that glitter glue. Really don't want to dip my finger in this because it's gonna be everywhere. But I want a pop of something. Alright, I actually really do like that, so I think I'm going to do it all over the lid now. And that's what happens when you do makeup. You change your mind a million times, and that is okay. Like I said, use the glitters at your own risk. I think that there is their disclaimer that their stuff is not eye safe, but they included an eye palette, so I don't really know how that works. Alright, so that is what it looks like. This is just that reddish color, and then this is with that glitter, and you see how it looks so different. Like, it just makes the eye look pop, and I really like that. So when you use this glitter glue, make sure you're not using a ton. That's all I use. And then I go in with this tiny little brush and I kind of tap and I use it as I need it. I don't just stick it all on your eye. So you don't want to overdo it with the glue either. You do want to have enough though that it sticks. I usually just kind of pat and swipe a little bit. I'm going to go all the way to the pretty much where I want it to stop, which is almost the end of my eyelid. Alright, I think I got all of the little nooks and crannies, so now I'm going to dip into that glitter again. And I just kind of pat it. I don't swipe it. I just pat it on. It's going to be the best way to not get as much fallout, especially with these types of glitters that are pressed, because you do kind of have to dig your brush in to the glitter. I'm sorry about this whole lighting thing. That's the only bad thing, is that the touch is like all around the rim, so you have to be really careful. Normally I don't really mind, but if I'm doing a video, it's kind of annoying. Alright, so that's pretty much all I'm gonna do for the eyes. I actually really like that. It looks really nice. Alright, I like it, I like it. I'm winning with this eye look today, because usually they don't turn out that good. Alright, baby was like rolling. I'm like, no, he's gonna wake up. Okay, so now we're gonna do the face. I'm trying this new e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And I'm gonna use a little bit of this Naked Skin in medium light neutral. This one is unfortunately discontinued, but this one I've heard a lot of talk about. Everyone raves about it, and I want to try it for myself. Actually, I lied. I need eyeliner. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula eyeliner. You guys know I love this stuff. It's my favorite. I'm going to be using the sponge that I used in my haul, that I showed in my haul. And this is the Urban Decay. It came in like a duo set. I've used it one time and I was like, why do they not make this by itself? Like, they need to sell this by itself. It's so good, so soft, and you can get in like every little nook and cranny with this tip. It's so good. Like, I don't understand why they don't sell this on its own. I don't know if it's just too expensive or like too hard to make, but it's so good. So there's a difference. I actually kind of like that concealer, I think. Mixing it definitely helps with the yellow. The yellowness of it. I think I've only used this one once, I think, and by itself I'm pretty sure the shade was like way off. Oh, I have like a pimple coming out and it sucks because it's actually kind of hurts. I rarely break out, but when I do, they suck, and it's like the most inconvenient time of life. Alright, I really like this concealer, or this like concealer duo. Together they look really nice. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it looks really nice and like even, so I like that a lot. A lot. And because it actually spread a lot more than like I thought it would, I'm just gonna use this by itself. Maybe a dot of this just because it has SPF. It's the only thing I kind of wish that did have. So I'm gonna shake it. I'm literally gonna use like the tiniest amount, maybe like that much. That's all I'm gonna use. It's not really gonna do a whole lot, but I hate the way it looks, so I don't really want to use a ton of it. And then I'm going to use a whole pump of this ColourPop one. Again, this is 12W, and this one is in shade medium tan. Alright, I'm actually going to mix it together on my hand first. Make sure I get that all mixed up. Then I'm just going to dot it on the lower half because my concealer didn't cover that lower half, but it actually spread pretty much to my cheekbones. So, and then I just usually do like a dot on my forehead because I don't have anything to cover up my forehead. These are scars that will, no matter what, like they're never gonna go away. So I usually don't even bother. I just do, like I said, a dot of, just to make sure that like my whole face matches, not so much to like cover my actual forehead. You guys gotta remember that everything looks so much better the less you use of it, and that was my issue when I first started using makeup, was that I thought that like you needed foundation for every nook and cranny of your face, but the less foundation I've been using on my face, and I know that looked like a lot, but this is super lightweight. Like, it's got almost no coverage, which was why I was getting a lot of like negative reviews, was because it is so light in coverage. But that's what I like. I don't have a ton to cover, and even if you do, like, I think it looks really nice if you want like a higher coverage foundation, then just kind of mix them. And I really like the finish of it. I was a little scared because I do have that drier skin, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, it clings to your dry patches, it doesn't look good. But I found that if I moisturize my face and use the right primers, that it actually ends up looking really nice and natural. Alright, so that is what my face looks like. I'm going to go in with that other end with nothing on it, just to make sure that I take away any extra foundation that is on my face that I don't need. Blend everything together. And like I said, this sponge is amazing, guys. Like, if you are looking to buy the where is it? There it is. The all-nighter spray, like you need a refill, just buy it with the sponge and you will not regret it. It's so good. So that is what my skin looks like after. Everything looks pretty even. It looks glowy. It just looks healthy, and that's what I want. Like, I don't want it to look like I'm wearing a ton of foundation, and I didn't even use all of it. I'm gonna be using this Bacon Blot Banana Light. I'm gonna try this out. I usually like applying under eye stuff with a sponge, so I'm just gonna pat out any creases. This is only the second time I've tried this powder, so we'll see how it works on the under eye. Last time I didn't actually pay attention to what it looked like. If it creased or not. But I did buy this light one because I found that like a lot of concealers oxidize when you put certain powders on them. Like, let me show you. So like this all-nighter one, it's really good for mattifying the skin, but it darkens up my under eyes a lot. So to make sure that I use powders that are a little bit lighter, so that when it does oxidize the concealer, it's not too noticeable. So I'm going to use it a little bit on the top of my nose and on the corners, and you can see that you can't really tell a huge difference. Now for the rest of my face, I'm going to be using this Ultimate Brush Set and Go Off One Done powder, just the one with the little kabuki. Mine has a ton of powder on it, which usually doesn't, but I'm just going to stamp it on the lower half of my face. Get the little corners of your nose, the top of my nose, because that is where I am the most oily, and then I'll just kind of rub it on the tops of my forehead. I do have like a little scar up there, but from a pimple, because they're lovely. But that's all I do, just make sure that it blends. Then I'll grab like a kabuki brush and just kind of make sure that everything's blended, because I do tap that on there. It is a much stiffer brush. It's really good for tapping in the powder, and this just kind of blends the powder that was tapped in. And that is the look. Like I said, it still looks like my skin. You can still see some of my like beauty marks and stuff, but it looks even. It looks like I woke up like this, but I didn't. I wish. Alright, so that is the look, guys. I'm just gonna put mascara, blush, bronzer, call it a day. I actually really like this eye look. Like, it looks really, really pretty. Kind of sunset vibes. Kind of feel, if you know what I mean. Alright, I'm going to bronze up the skin and contour with the Sigma Sculpt. And then I'm going to use probably this one as blush. I don't know yet. I'll find out right now when I do it. Alright, I'm using my soft angled contour in F23. And I'm going to dip into both of these right down here. I usually don't use the darker one just because they are pretty pigmented. And I don't want to put too much on. So you can tell the difference, like, from this to this. So I'm not really precise about it. Like I said, I just kind of put it on, blend it in. The reason I do put, you know, like a powder all over my face, even though I am dry skinned, is so that everything blends. I try not to over powder. Like you guys saw, I just stamp it on and then brush everything else off that is just sitting on top of the skin. And then I'll blend as much as I can so that it doesn't look too overdone. Like the tiniest, like I'll literally just tap, and then I'll tap it on the nose, on the sides, just to give me that little bit of a slimmer look on the nose. Obviously, if you already have a smaller nose, you don't want to make it smaller because it will look disproportionate to your face. So I just do a little bit. I don't contour really hard or anything, just enough to kind of proportion it a little bit more to my face. So now I'm going to use blush. I've been loving using this tapered face brush in F25 for blush. I don't know, I like how it looks on the face, and I'm feeling a little bit of a coral vibe today. So I'm going to be using this Sephora in Orange Punchy, and I'm probably going to mix my blushes because I always do. I always mix blushes. I love it. I definitely went through a phase with this blush where I used this and this only. And it's such a good blush. I don't know if they still sell it, unfortunately, but I know they do still have like similar blushes to this. It's such a pretty shade. So it just gives you the nicest like look. And then I think I want to use a little bit more of a rosy color. So I'm going to use Cor de Rosa right here at the top, which is a little bit more of a rosy color, and that's going to go towards the back, and then whatever's left over I'll bring towards the front of my face. I like how it looks when I mix stuff. And that's how you can use like multiple things. So like I'll use all my blushes that way by using 2 at a time, and you get very unique colors. I know they don't look unique and they all look pink on your cheeks, but they really do look different and unique once, you know, to you and to your collection. So that's the face. That's all I'm gonna do. Like I said, I've been loving highlight ever since my skin started getting dry. This last pregnancy that I had just changed everything. I have allergies now, which I never had before. I got pregnant and I started getting allergies. Don't know why, but now I have allergies. My skin used to be really oily all around. Now it's just my nose and a pretty dry skin. Why is life like that? I don't know. It just is. Alright. enough ranting. I'm gonna be using this highlighter in, what's the shade? It just says volume 3 from Juvia's Place. I tried this one time and I really liked it, so I'm gonna try it again. And I'm gonna turn my light on for this just so that I can see what I'm doing. Oh, I think I put too much on my brush. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put too much. Alright, is there such a thing as too much highlight? Probably not for everybody, but for me there is such a thing. But it's so pretty, like, can you see that? Wow. Alright, I think it's really pretty, but it's a little bit too light for my skin tone. So I'm going to tone it down. And by tone it down, I mean like the color, not the shine. With this Glass Black Ice Illuminator from Makeup Revolution. I have used this multiple times, and I really like this a lot. This I really recommend. It's so, so pretty. It does get a little bit of a hard pan, which I don't like, but it's still usable and I still like it, and you just have to rub a little bit harder. And I look like a freaking gold brick right now. So what I do when that happens is I'll grab a brush like this. It doesn't have too much on it, and I'll just blend this out. Let me grab my tissue. So I'm just gonna blend the highlighter into like my makeup, and it just looks really pretty once it's blended. So I usually pinch my brush and kind of go over. This is just like a powder brush that I use for powder, so it has leftover powder. And that is it. Now it looks really natural and pretty, and I'll even go over it with like my blush brush, and whatever's left on it with blush will go right on top of that highlighter so that it all blends together and it doesn't look like a strip of highlighter. I don't like the strip. I like that it looks kind of like the whole cheek is illuminated and pretty, and it's you're glowing within kind of thing. That's what I like. But that is, do you guys see how it all just kind of blends into the cheek? It's not just one specific area, but it's still like the tops of your cheeks. So it looks really pretty and put together. So I really recommend these two right here. I love it. I don't do any highlighter like on top of my nose or anything. If I do want to highlight the top of my nose, I'll go in with, a matte highlighter. So like this is the Kat Von D, but I know a lot of other places have, and I'll do something like that. So I'm gonna use this one. It's just the one that I use for all over, and it's always a matte. I'll dip in and then I'll just kind of highlight the top of my nose, but I do it with a matte highlight because the top of my nose is the oiliest part of my face. I don't want to add actual highlight to it and make it look greasy because it's already greasy. And that's it. That's all I do for the face. Obviously, I do it a lot faster if I'm not doing a video, but it's still not that long of a look. I'm gonna use my favorite lip liner in Deep, and then I'm gonna use Persistence because that is my favorite shade ever. In such a neutral color. And I know I haven't done the rest of my eyes, but my lips were looking really crazy and I needed to do that. I'm gonna put my favorite mascara on. I'm actually gonna double it up, and I'm gonna use the Super Sizer from CoverGirl and my favorite Monsieur Big. This is gonna be a really long video, guys. I am so sorry. Alright, I'm just gonna put this one, the Super Sizer first. Alright, that took a whole lot of concentration. I didn't curl this one as much as I did this one, so it happens. Oh well. I'm gonna finish the bottom of the eyes really quick with this one, which the paper just fell out of. I'm just gonna go in with a short shader brush into Strength, which I used earlier, and then into Guiding Spirit from the Mulan palette. And I'm just gonna blend that right on the bottom, just so it's even. Alright, so that is what that looks like. I just used two colors. That's all I need. That's all I want to use. I usually don't do much more than that, or else it starts to get into the weird territory. That just broke on me. Alright, using the Dose of Colors pencil in Sketch. What the heck? It's just a brown color. And that's just going to cover the waterline. You can bring it up to the top and tight line with it too, just to kind of blend everything together. You can pop on some eyelashes. I will not be doing that just because I don't necessarily like doing that on an everyday basis. But that is pretty much the finished look. Really, really like how it came out. It looks really pretty. I'm gonna use some brow gel because these brows are starting to get all kind of wonky. So that pomade does not hold your brows, it's just colors them in basically. So this is the NYX Brow Gel Control Freak. I really love this stuff, and it's usually always on sale for like $4. So if you catch it, I would snag it. It's really good. It keeps my brows in place, and it's not expensive at all. Really like that stuff. I think that's it. I kind of want to bring some more lightness into the inner corner, so I'm just going to use this one that I have right here, the Juvia's Place, and just a random little brush and put that right in the inner corner of my eye. So only like if the light catches it, you will see it really, but it looks really nice. And it lightens that like dark spot in the inner corner that most of us have. I'll bring it down just a tiny bit. And that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Like I said, I don't do too much, but just enough. So that is the finished look with the eyelashes, the face, how it looks after, the brows, the eyes, And that's it. I'm gonna put some setting spray really quick. I'm just gonna use this one right here. This is what I have. I don't feel like using the all-nighter. This is the B6 Vitamin Infused Complexion Prep Priming Spray. You can use it whenever. I know it says priming, but you can use it whenever. And I'm just gonna spray this on my face. That's it. That's gonna take that like powdery finish out. I also love this primer water. I'm almost out, but I love this stuff. Never too much primer spray, or spray in general. And then I'll just let that dry. But that's honestly, that's all I do. I know it's a lot. But that's just because I'm filming. It honestly doesn't take me this long. This is gonna be like a 1-hour video. So props to you if you stayed and watched all of this. Now I just have to do my hair because that's gonna be fun. It's still wet from the shower. But it's raining outside, so I don't actually know if I'm gonna really do it, in all honesty, because if I straighten it, it's just gonna get back to being wavy and like puffy. Maybe I'll just straighten my bangs and something and kind of let the waves do what they're doing. Yeah, probably just gonna do that. It's raining really hard outside. But that is the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this is my favorite like go-to for the summer. It's just so lightweight. You're not wearing a ton of foundation. I really enjoyed almost all of this makeup that I tried. It looks really pretty. These primers together and this concealer with this, like, I loved it. I loved everything. The sponge is amazing. I love it. Like I said, I only used it once. This is my second time and I love it. So if you guys need that all-nighter spray, get it with the sponge because it's worth it. My brows look really good, so this is a plus. Love that. This is really good. It's a little bit light for my skin tone, but I can make it work by mixing. Alright, I have tried to film this outro so many times. The whole video went by pretty good. This outro, I've been interrupted a million times. So I'm gonna get going before I get interrupted one more time. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It is a super long one. There's a baby crying. So I gotta go. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.